Who's in studio with me? It is Jake Carter. How are you?
Hello, I'm all good. Yourself, man?
I'm very good, thanks.
Very good.
So people know that surname anyway.
They do, yeah.
And
It's a fella that sings with the same surname.
yeah, so that would be Nathan, your older brother,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, he's the older brother.
So you are now trying to get out of his shadow, because I remember a few years ago I was emceeing for Nathan Carter in the Marquee in Cork.
That's where I know your face from.
Yeah,
I knew your face from somewhere and I couldn't think where it was.
So it was a
Yeah,
massive
I
gig for
remember,
me. I'd never been in the Marquee, and then it was for his DVD recording. So
Yeah.
it was my job to kind of hype the crowd up. Very easy when it's a Nathan Carter audience. You
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
just have to say Nathan, and they're away. They are electric
man. Oh,
altogether.
yeah.
So I remember seeing you around in the backstage area, and I thought,
Yeah, I was always about the place for the last, I suppose, 4 or 5 years from when he started out. So I was always in the back, I guess, learning the trade and learning the different tricks. And then now I'm doing it myself with my own band, and we're flying at the minute. We can't complain. We actually, funny you mentioned the Marquee in Cork there, we supported Nathan in the Marquee in Cork last July, and it was a mental gig, one of the best gigs of the year by far. Some crowd and some buzz as well. So yeah, things are going mental at the minute.
And was that always the idea when you were there at the big shows with Nathan? Was it a support your brother thing, or was it a, right, I need to pick up every bit of advice and the feeling and the atmosphere
Yeah, I know what you
that I
mean.
can?
I never really thought much of it at the time. I never really thought, I have to learn all this stuff. I started gigging in pubs and clubs back at home in Liverpool and around the north of England for 2 years when I was about 16. So that was about 3 or 4 years ago now. So when I was doing that, I was always over as well, backstage. And I suppose you learn stuff from just watching, but it was never a thing of watch and learn. So I think it was just be there and enjoy the atmosphere. And I just loved being around, even the backstage. I did monitors for him and roadieing and lifting gear and all for him for one of his tours in Scotland and England a good few years back. So I was always learning stuff, and you learn so much from just, I suppose, being around that business. Not just performing wise, but also backstage and what actually goes on in the business. So I definitely had one of the sort of the better starts in the career where I had to learn everything. And then doing the pubs and the clubs as well, you definitely learn. You couldn't learn that stuff if you didn't do it, you know what I mean? If there's anyone that's sort of looking to go into the music business, I'd definitely say to do what we call your apprenticeship, really, in the pubs and clubs, because you learn so much there.
So with you, I mean, people might say, sure, it's easy for him. He can just support Nathan and that's how he'll cut his teeth. But you've actually done the pubs and clubs and the harder venues. So you would advise anyone, that's where you need to start.
Yeah, I'd never agree with anyone just sort of jumping into it without doing any sort of the groundwork before. I've been there in the pubs and the clubs where there's 2 people and one of them's the bar staff, like, you know what I mean? It's crazy, and you do learn so much from that. And now when I'm on with the band, we were playing gigs there over the summer. Some of them to over 1,000 people, you know what I mean? It's crazy, but you do learn so much, and you learn how to deal with people as well, and the different scenarios that can crop up in them pub situations, especially.
Yeah. Is it easier though? I found out that emceeing Nathan's gig, that was very daunting, and I was thinking, how on earth am I going to do this? You know, I mean, they're all here to see Nathan. They don't care who I am.
Yeah.
How am I going to do it? But I found it was one of the easier gigs I've done. So is it that same situation when you're playing in a small, quiet night in a pub? That must be a lot more difficult than playing to the big audience.
I think it is. It's a more intimate audience is more difficult because they're there listening. Like, as I know, if there's a big crowd, they can sort of. I suppose a gig's a gig at the end of the day, whether you're playing to 2 people or whether you're playing to 2,000 people. You know what I mean? But the smaller gigs, there's definitely more pressure, I think, especially when you were doing it one man. Like, I used to do some gigs with just me and acoustic, and that sort of really pressures on then because it's all you. At least now when I'm up there with the band, if I make a mistake, which I do often, there's normally a lot of mistakes throughout the night, but the band are there and the lads sort of, they can correct it, you know what I mean? They're great musicians, so it's a lot easier, I think, with the band around you and with the buzz and the atmosphere that comes with the bigger gigs. It sort of drives you on to put on even a better show and just love what you're doing as you're up there.
Okay, well, you've already performed for us and people will see it on our Facebook page as well. You enjoyed that gig, and it was only to the two of us here in the studio.
Yeah,
so it was a bit like that, but you gave it everything. But tell us why you are in Kerry today. You're going to be visiting schools, right?
We are, yeah. We're doing a bit of myself and Brian, who played guitar there 4 years on that track. He's the MD of my band. Where we were touring yesterday, we were in Cork, and today we're in Kerry, doing sort of promo tours, if you like. So we're visiting radio stations like yourself. So thanks for having us in. And schools. So we're in the Killarney Community College.
That's the one. And it's funny that you're going there because that's where my mom is a teacher.
Right. Oh,
so
very good.
it's as if you've done all the background research and you meant to do it just so I'd be able to mention that. So say hello to Mary Fuller.
I will do.
Right?
Yeah. So we're in the college then, and then we are doing different stuff. We're doing Facebook Lives with different. We're with the Killarney Advertiser. And different sort of radio things, and then we're actually heading to the INEC and going to do a bit of promo there. Because we're actually doing a gig there a week Saturday, so Saturday the 23rd of September. So really looking forward to that gig. That's my first sort of show on the headline tour.
Okay, and is that going to be in the Acoustic Club?
It is,
then?
yeah. It's in the Acoustic Club.
Nice one.
Real
Beautiful
nice,
venue, yeah.
Lovely, intimate venue, yeah. So it's my first gig ever in Kerry, actually, with the band. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's selling really well as well. So the tickets still available at jakecarterofficial.com. It's a good plug there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
And my manager's not even here to tell me to do it. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that gig. We've got a new set. We're rehearsing now, coming up in this week leading up to it. A lot of new songs going in, a lot of more original songs. And yeah, just getting my name and the sort of the Jake Carter sound out there now, yeah.
Well, I was talking to your manager on the phone before you arrived, and he said that you were stuck behind tractors, which is a hazard of living in Kerry.
Yeah, I've got used to that living over here now.
Exactly, yeah. So he told me that, your single, which is out now, Having a Party, is brilliant. There's a great country vibe to it.
Yeah.
But he said that your upcoming stuff, it's currently in the demo stage.
Yeah,
he said that it's a very poppy sound.
It is, yeah. I suppose Wild and Free and Having a Party, which were my two latest singles, they were a bit of a cross between pop and country, you know what I mean? There was sort of, I'd call it the modern country sort of phase. There's a lot of fellas out in America doing that sort of stuff, but the new stuff that I'm writing, it's sort of, it's very pop, it's very sort of commercial pop, if you like. The likes of what, I guess, One Direction would have done, the likes of the bands like 5 Seconds of Summer, Shawn Mendes, all them type of musicians and artists. So we're writing a lot of stuff now, which is going down that more pop route. So I'll always love the country, and it'll always be there. But I just see my current sound now is it's sort of taking that leap now into the actual the pop industry. And yeah, so the new stuff is it's a bit different now to Having a Party. It's not too much. You can still tell it's me, like, but yeah, it's a lot fresher sounding, and it's a lot more commercial. I don't really like using that word because there's a lot of types of music that are commercial, but it is a word that's used, I guess. So I guess it's a bit more poppy, and I'm hoping that it'll appeal to all audiences and not just the younger audiences that are out there.
Yeah, well, fair play to you for putting the pressure on yourself, because you just come out and you say it. Well, One Direction, they've split up, they've gone down their separate routes. They're not quite that pop sound that they had with Kiss Me and Little Things and all the songs they had. And there is that little void in the market, but it's a big
gap to fill.
Yeah, it's massive void to fill.
Funny, in our set now, we do actually a Niall Horan song called Slow Hands. I think it's one of the best songs. The best songs out there at the minute. It's so simple, and there's not much to it, but it goes down. I think it's the best track that we do at our gigs currently. It's crazy, but the likes of Picture This and all them types of bands as well, they're all pop as well. So we're trying to incorporate a bit of everything and get our own sound out there at the same time. So our show now as well as my original stuff, we've got a Picture This medley in there. We've a Niall Horan track. We do Shawn Mendes, all these different songs, but we try and make them our own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We Jake Carterify them, if you like. So yeah, trying to get our own sound out there, and hopefully the listeners will like it. Yeah.
Well, look, we're going to play the track you just performed for us by Picture This. I really enjoyed it, so I'm sure our listeners will as well.
Thank you very much.
And remind us again, you will be in the INEC Acoustic Club this Saturday night.
So the 23rd of September, we're really looking forward to it, and tickets are available on jakecarterofficial.com or on the INEC website, so I hope to see a few of you there.
Brilliant stuff. Right, Jake, thank you very much
for
talking
having
to
us
us.
in. I'll see you all soon.
And I'm sure if you're performing as a solo artist headlining the marquee, you'll call on a good MC from Kerry.
You never know. Definitely, if I'm doing it one day, I'll give you a ring.
Thanks a million, Jake.
Cheers, man.